ولا تتمنوا ما فضل الله به بعضكم على بعض للرجال نصيب مما اكتسبوا وللنساء نصيب مما اكتسبن واسألوا الله من فضله إن الله كان بكل شيء عليما صدق الله العظيم. In these ayahs of Surat al-Nisa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned a very important rule of our life. Something that we really all of us have to pay a very close attention to, and then try to work our life according to the direction given in this ayah. Maybe we need to change some of our habits after going through the message of the ayah. Before going into the ayah, let's understand the background of it. And the background of this ayah is mainly the nature of a human being. It is part of our nature that regardless how many things we have acquired and we own in our lives, whenever we see someone else have something different, we would like to get that also. And when we see other people having things that we do not have, right away we forget everything that we have, and it seems like this is the only thing that I have been living for, and this is the thing that I'm really missing in my life. There is some shortage in my life. There is something that I have been missing in my life, and that is this. Of course, this is the nature of human beings, and those who study psychology and human nature, when they plan things, when they are marketing things, when they are advertising things, they study human nature. And they know what would be attractive for these people, for the people, so that people will just run after it. And after a very deep study, these billboards will come up. It's not something that simple that someone wrote a small sentence and then he decided to put it up. There is a very deep study behind it. Each and every word that has been presented over there, it was put over there after a lot of thought. They don't put long messages over there. It will be a picture, and that picture there may be only 1-2 things, and then 3-4 words, so that quickly a person will be able to read it. And of course, the picture and the words has to be something that will be attractive. So if the picture is attractive, right away you would read what's written around it. If the picture is not attractive, you won't even read what's written over there. So to make the message attractive, they will have to have a picture with it that will attract every person's attention, and then when your attention is attracted there, then you will read that. And at the same time, when you read it, now the message has to be attractive, that later on you would think of going and having it, or calling, or something like that, so that I can get this also. And things are designed, not only that, then everything around that is designed in the same manner. And if we look at our lives from morning to evening, we are just struggling to get what other people have. We are not struggling to get what we are missing in reality. It's not that I'm really having a trouble living my life over here. I'm struggling to get what other people have. You see a person who buys a car. He puts so much time and energy and then his money in buying that car. I won't say a year later, few months later, as he's driving around and he sees new models of the cars from different colors, only few more options, few more buttons that he may never use in his life, but he would like to sell his car now and buy that one because the other person has that car. Our neighbor in his driveway, every time we look at his driveway, oh, he has these two cars. So it's not that my car doesn't run. It's not that there are options in that car that if I would have them will make my life easier. No. It's only I'm missing something that this person has, so I would like to get what others have. With everything that is out there at this time, it's the same method. It has been designed in the same way. A lot of times people are just after colors. I need to change the color now. I'm tired of this color. So now in order to change the color, this person is going to take a loss of thousands of dollars. The very same amount of money, the very same thing could have been used for marrying some orphans, for giving it as a donation in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for helping one of the causes of deen, and if a person would not even want to use it for any of these things, at least go, give it to your family. Look, I was planning on buying this. It would cost me thousands of dollars. Here, $2,000. Let's spend it on our own house, on our family. Buy something for the children. But the thing is, greed. It doesn't let us do any of those things. The person feels that I'm struggling. I'm going through hardships. My earnings are not enough. My income is not enough. I have to work even more. But if a person would look at his expenses, it's not because really of his needs. It's because this person is always looking at what others have. And this is with new technology. You buy a laptop. After some time, you see someone sitting next to you using another type of laptop. Oh, this looks much better than mine. You don't even know the features of it, but it looks better than mine. This is a newer model of it. Look, they have one more option over there. I can see this. And this person would like to get rid of his and buy another one. You have a cell phone. And you see someone else using another one. Oh, this looks better than mine. And a person came to me, a young man. And while we were talking, he says, I'm getting rid of my phone. I said, what? He says, you know what? Every uncle and auntie has the same phone. Now, I don't feel like it suits me anymore. Because I see all the people around me, they have the same phone and older people having it. So it looks like now it doesn't match my age. The phone is not matching his age. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in this ayah of Quran, look, subhanallah, the miraculous words of Quran. وَلَا تَتَمَنَّوْا مَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بِهِ بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. Amazing message. If you look at it, go back in the history and try to apply it, you would just be thinking of what was the application of the ayah at that time. But now when we see, subhanallah, it looks like it's just really fresh for our situation. وَلَا تَتَمَنَّوْا. Tamanna means hope. Do not hope for things. مَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بِهِ بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. For things that Allah has given someone better than yours. Exact same thing. Exact same thing. That don't just keep on hoping to have things that Allah has given someone else better than what you have. Because that person is looking at you and he feels you have something that he does not have. And both of you are just looking at each other's things that you don't have. Look at the things that Allah has given you. Look at what Allah has given you better than his. Because when he looks at you, he feels that he's missing something. When you look at him, you feel that you are missing something. Instead of that, change your way of looking at things, and now you look at things that he does not have and you have them. Look at things that he does not have and you have them. And instead thanking Allah, subhanallah, this person does not have this, and I have such great things. Look, this person has such a nice car, he has his beautiful home, but he does not have children like mine. I'm so happy having these children that if I would have to replace my children with this car, with this home, I would never do that. So I'm thankful to Allah. Look at what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. Don't look at what Allah has given others and we don't have them. Because in that situation, this is the rule of this world. Every person will have something that you don't have. Just try to think of the wealthiest person in the world. And then, if you get an opportunity to talk to that person or read anything about the person and see, does this person feel that I really got everything that I need and no one in this world has anything better than what I do? No. When that person walks out of his home, instead looking around, oh, I wish this was my wife. Looking at someone else's, I wish this was my wife. He looks at someone's home, oh, I wish that if my yard was like this. He may have a better one. But something that is over there, he does not have. And subhanAllah, now because of that, so much time and energy is being spent on these things that is unbelievable. Unbelievable things are happening just because of this, because we are neglecting this rule of Quran, of our nature, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us, وَلَا تَتَمَنَّوْا مَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بِهِ
أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَا تَعْتَذِرُوا الْيَوْمَ إِنَّمَا تُجْزَوْنَ مَا كُنتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ صدق الله العظيم. Respected and dear brothers and sisters, the ayahs that I have just recited, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these ayahs have reminded us of a very important responsibility that He has loaded on our shoulders. And that is the responsibility of protecting our children and our families against the hellfire. قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Protect yourself and your family against the fire. In the ahadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam called the children amana, a trust in our hands. Which means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has trusted us with these children so that we teach them the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in a hadith, rated in the Surat, كل مولود يولد على الفطرة. Every child is born with a pure nature. Which means there is no shift in the heart and the mind of the child. The time the child is born. There is no kufr in the mind of the child. يولد على الفطرة. Every child is born clean and pure. فأبواه يهودانه أو ينصرانه أو يمجسانه. Parents are the one who would make him either a Jew or a Christian or a follower of any other religion. Which means they are a trust in our hands, and they were given to us clean and pure. It all depends on us now, what we sow in these children. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in a hadith narrated by Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu from Surat Hashim, that make sure the first thing your children learn to say is La ilaha illallah. Teach your children, as they learn how to speak, the first word they should speak should be La ilaha illallah. And of course, we all know who have children and who are raising children, that this is not going to happen if we wait for these children to get to the age of speaking and now we're trying to make them say La ilaha illallah. They must have learned a lot of things before that. They would start saying a lot of other words. So what's the way of making sure that they would learn La ilaha illallah? As soon as they started speaking, these would be their words. When we put our children to go to sleep, mothers always say something. They keep on reciting something. Sometimes they recite poems. Some mothers will sing a song. And some mothers will keep on saying, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. We all know that the first instruction given in the Sunnah by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam about when a child is born, what is the first thing that we are supposed to do for the child? The hadith to us that the first thing we are supposed to do is call adhan in the ear of the child. Iqamah in the left ear. How much reward do we get by calling that adhan? Is there a hadith that specifies the amount of reward that we get? Because there are hadith that tell us when you say subhanallah you get this many rewards. And when you recite one ayah of Quran for each letter you are getting 10 rewards. Is there any hadith that specifies the number of rewards that we would get by calling the adhan in the ear of the child? No, not a single hadith. Why? Because although we will be getting the reward for calling the adhan, but the purpose of calling this adhan is not just to earn some reward. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is teaching a totally different lesson here. And that is, as soon as the child is born and came to this world, anything this child will hear will have an effect on the life of the child. So make sure, first thing you do for the child is call adhan in the ear of the child. So the first thing the child will hear is Allahu akbar, Allahu akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. Of course, if this is the first thing that we are supposed to call in the ear of the child and something the children should hear from us, it does not end there. If we get our lesson the way we are supposed to from the Sharia and from the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, then these words will not end and this will not be the first and the last time for them to hear this adhan and the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It simply means that if you have to mention the greatness of Allah to this child and the oneness of Allah and the prophethood of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at the time of birth, then imagine what should be your responsibility as the child is growing there. And normally what is happening in our homes normally? Normally we know that they heard the adhan, mashallah, first time, and now for 3-4 years they don't get the opportunity of hearing the name of Allah. How many times our children hear adhan and iqamah wouldn't be in the period of 3-4 years of their age? How many times they hear the recitation of Quran saying in our homes? And what is it that they normally hear? We all know. I know humans. And when we are sitting watching movies, watching all kinds of shows, and all of that nonsense is getting into the ear of our children after that adhan, so imagine how much effect these things will have on the ear, on the life of the child. This is what the child is being said. Once the adhan, when the child is born. After that, this is everything, this is all what the child hears. We find in the life of Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. In the night time when they used to recite Salat al-Tahajjud in the Quran, recite Quran in Salat al-Tahajjud. And of course we know that the general habit of Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in was to finish one Quran every 7 days. This was the general habit in those days. Finish one Quran every 7 days. And they used to call them manazil. There are 7 manazil in the Quran. Manzil means a place where you stay. They used to start starting from Fatiha. And then going to the first manzil, then second day going to the second manzil. And every 1 week they had finished one Quran. And when they used to recite the Quran during the night time, they would keep their infants next to them. so that these infants will keep on hearing the voice of the recitation of Quran. Those children grew in those homes listening to Quran and the recitation of Quran every night, receiving the rahmah and the barakah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that was descending at the time of the recitation of Quran. Imam Razi rahmatullahi alayhi wrote a beautiful tafsir of Quran al-Kareem called At-Tafsir al-Kabir. It's in 32 volumes with very fine writing of Arabic language. And that is the first volume. The first volume is devoted to Surah Al-Fatiha, in which Imam Razi rahmatullahi alayhi says that once during my talk I said to my students that you can derive about 10,000, more than 10,000 masail and rulings just from Surah Al-Fatiha. So there were some people there who said, "Darling, how can you derive more than 10,000 rulings just from Surah Al-Fatiha?" When he heard some of the students calling that there were people sitting there and they were objecting to him, and they thought, you just trying to prove yourself something and you can't do that. Then he decided to write this tafsir to make people realize how much knowledge is found in this book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then in his tafsir,